To show my appreciation for your support. Thank you, DJs. I came in the door, dripped in balance.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to ZayMoolaSportsPodcast. I'm your host, Isaiah, and Titans fans, we received unfortunate news today as Treylon Burks suffered a fractured collarbone during today's practice. And this is sad to hear because he's dealt with so many injuries, whether it be concussions, hamstrings, and now a fractured collarbone, y'all. And you really have to feel for the guy. But I think it's time for us to admit this. His career with the Tennessee Titans is over, it's finished, and it's done. And I hate that it got to this point because he had so much promise during his rookie season. I mean, I never thought that he was going to be the equivalent of A.J. Brown the way John Robinson thought he would. But I thought at the very least, y'all, he could become a consistent, weapon for us, and 1,000+ yard receiver every single season. But here we are 3 years later, and he's a bust, and it hasn't worked out. And it's time for us to move on. And I know that this injury is not going to keep him out for the entire season. So there's a chance that he could come back maybe, in week 3, week 4, or week 5. But y'all, I just feel like at this point, it would be best for both parties to move on. And I really think that Treylon, would be best suited to just start somewhere fresh. Start over with a new organization, with a new offensive system, with a new head coach, with a new quarterback. And maybe that can help him get his career back on track because it just hasn't worked out, him being a member of the Tennessee Titans. And, it's been various reasons that hasn't worked out. Some has been on him, and then other times it hasn't been on him. You look at this head coach, Mike Vrabel, the offensive system that we had when Mike Vrabel was the head coach, we ran the ball a lot. So, I'm not going to put that on Treylon Burks. But last year, y'all, he had a perfect opportunity to really establish himself as a consistent weapon for this offense since we brought in Brian Callahan and we were implementing this pass-happy offense. And I know that Will Levis and Mason Rudolph, both of those guys, really struggled. But even when they were playing somewhat well, especially Will Levis, like early on in the season, Treylon Burks still wasn't able to seize the opportunity and prove himself to be a consistent weapon for this offense, y'all. And really last season, that's when I knew, okay, yeah, it's just time for us to move on from him, because I thought that at the very least, last year he could be, a number 3, number 4 receiver for us. But when he couldn't even do that, that's when I knew it's just time for us to part ways with him, y'all. Because let's be honest, he already was going to have a very difficult time making this roster. You got guys like Chimere DK, Alec Manor, Xavier Restrepo, and Bryce Oliver, all guys that, so far during camp have performed better than he did. Now, I will give Treylon Burks this, y'all. He is a hard worker. This is the guy, that Titans coaches, they rave about his work ethic, the type of leader that he is on the team, the type of personality that he has. All that's great, y'all. But at the end of the day, he has not produced enough for this franchise. And that's what it comes down to. And when you look at the receivers that we have on the roster right now, obviously Calvin Ridley, he's our number 1 wide receiver. We brought in Van Jefferson and Tyler Lockett, 2 nice veteran players. And then the rookies that I just mentioned, Chimere DK, Alec Manor, and Xavier Restrepo, I think all 3 of those guys are going to make the team. And you got other guys like Bryce Oliver and Mason Kinsey and James Prochet that also have a chance of making this team, y'all. So I just don't think that even if Treylon Burks was healthy, I didn't think he was going to make the roster at all. Now that he's injured, I definitely don't think he's going to make the roster, and I really don't think it makes a ton of sense for us to just keep him around at this point, especially y'all consider this. We have a new general manager, Mike Bergonzi, okay? He has 0 ties to Treylon Burks at all. Now, Brian Callahan, he does have a connection with Treylon Burks because he was here with him last season, but Mike Bergonzi has 0 ties to Treylon Burks. Why in the world would he want to keep him around when he has 3 young guys that he just drafted, okay? He definitely wants to keep those guys on the team. Treylon Burks, he's going to feel like I don't have any reason to keep him, especially since he hasn't done anything during his Titans tenure. So, like I said, y'all, I really hate that it's come to this point with Treylon, especially when you think that. I hate to remind y'all of this, but we gave up A.J. Brown. We traded away A.J. Brown, y'all, who is one of the most dynamic playmakers in the NFL. Who, if we kept him, man, our offense would look so much better right now, wouldn't it? Imagine having A.J. Brown and Calvin Ridley on the outside. My gosh, we would probably have one of the better offenses in the league. But instead, y'all, we traded away A.J. We drafted Treylon Burks. as I mentioned earlier, John Robinson was like super happy about that because he felt like it was an even swap out. He felt like because of Treylon Burks' size and his stature and his physical makeup, he thought he could be the equivalent to AJ Brown because, you know, they do have very similar physiques. AJ is 6'1", 220. Treylon Burks is 6'2", 225 pounds. Both of them, you know, are strong, really good hands, you know, physical, big body type receivers. The difference is, though, y'all, one guy is ultra talented and one guy just doesn't have it. He just doesn't have it. And so this is yet another wasted first-round pick by us, y'all. And again, I know it sounds like I'm talking down on Treylon Burks. Treylon is a good dude. I really believe that. He is a good dude. We've heard the Titans coaches, you know, speak nothing but positivity about his character, again, about his personality. All that's great. But at the end of the day, y'all, he's been a bust for us. And I know there's some people out there that are still holding out hope for Treylon, but this is it. This was his final shot. Okay, now that he's injured, y'all, I think he doesn't have any more opportunities to be a member of this team going forward. And I think it's just time for the Titans and Treylon Burks to go in different directions, to part ways, y'all. It's just time for us to do it. Okay, I know it's tough because obviously when you have a guy that's a first-round pick, you want him to become an all-pro. Trust me, I wanted Treylon to become one of the best receivers in the NFL. But it just never happened. Okay, it never happened. And we got to admit, we messed up. Okay, now I know John Robinson is no longer here, y'all, but hey, this is still something that Miss Amy, she's the owner, she wanted it done. Okay, she has the final say on all decisions. So as a management, as an organization, we messed up. So it's time to admit, hey, we were wrong about Treylon Burks. There's no need to keep him on this team any longer. We have all these new young receivers. Let's see what they can do, y'all, and allow Treylon Burks to go somewhere else. And I will say this, if Treylon gets with the right system, if he's able to stay healthy, I do think he could become maybe like a 500-600 yard type receiver, which for him would be good, y'all. But just don't think that's ever going to happen with him being a member of the Tennessee Titans. So again, y'all, Titans wide receiver Treylon Burks suffered a fractured collarbone in today's practice, more than likely ending his tenure as a member of the Tennessee Titans, man. So there you have it. This is my take on Treylon Burks and what his injury means for him moving forward. Remember, y'all, last week's message. So what? Make sure you get your daily dose. Y'all know I'm in it, man. I love y'all. God bless. Peace.